Hey everyone, before I get started, I just want to remind you that if you like my content, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then join the Militiaman and Crew Patreon community by clicking the link in the caption. Hey, good evening everybody. Militiaman and Crew here, and one of the crew members decided to come in and join me. And you guys know Ophelia. She's a sweetheart. I'm not sure, I think she's 14 years now. She's pushing 14. Yeah, she was found in an apple tree. All right, so we adopted all of our kitties. They're not these most expensive kitties in the world, but they seem to be expensive because they sure like to eat. Now that we can get to the news, let's see this. Today, a lot of the news that everybody's been kind of like watching intensively is the 2023, 24, 25, 25 budget has been focused. It's like, well, are you going to do it? You're going to get it done? How are you going to do that? You're going to start spending money? What are you going to do? You're going to get it across the table. And the 2024 budget schedules look like they're going to be, as you'll see, passed sometime tonight, or they were. But we're going to start back from the beginning. And the Parliamentary Legal Department, right, that says no parliamentary action is to challenge the 2024 budget. So they said, you know, early on today that the Parliament will not challenge the 2024 budget schedules, especially after voting on them. That's kind of an odd way of saying it, especially after they already voted on them. Well, we'll see. But anyway, the push is on today to get this done, and I think you guys already know that that's likely the outcome that they did. But here, the President of the Parliament, after approving the budget, we will continue dispersing the funds and will continue to support the government. And the Speaker, Acting Speaker, Mohsen Al-Mandelawi, confirmed Monday his intention to continue dispersing the budget. So here they say they voted on it. He's saying we're going to continue dispersing on it, so that's good. The presidency has made great efforts with the Parliamentary Finance Committee to expedite its completion and vote on it during the current legislative term due to its importance. Well, of course, we all know what the importance is. It's going to have to do with the citizens. In terms of direct connection to the lives of the citizens, there it is, and its close connection to strategic investment and service projects. Strategic investment and service projects. Think about that. That's powerful because strategic is usually kind of energy oriented. It could be military oriented. Investment, well, obviously natural resources, business, development road project, huge. Service projects, well, that's for who? The citizens, right? Sewage, water, all those things come into play. Housing come into play. And to build costs money. It's going to cost a lot of money. And obviously this is what this budget's about, I believe. The House of Representatives will continue to exercise its oversight role to follow up on the disbursement of the financial amounts. So they're talking about they're following up, not just gearing for it. They're talking about following up because something's happened. Excuse me. They go on and express its support for the government to continue implementing its reform and service program and to complete the process of construction and progress and achieve what the honorable citizens aspire to. So again, it's about the citizens. The acting speaker suggests that the great role of the presidency and the members of the Parliamentary Finance Committee in discussing and completing the federal general budget schedules for the year 2024, expressing thanks to the members of the House of Representatives for their valuable proposals and their keenness to attend and vote on the budget schedules. So earlier today, the House of Representatives did vote on the 2024 budget schedules in full. Okay. The Parliamentary Finance Committee also voted on its final report of the 2024 budget schedules, and the House of Representatives held its regular session headed by the first representative, Mohsen Al-Mandelawi, to vote on the budget schedules in the presence of 190. Yeah, you know, in my opinion, there was significant reason for them to get this right today. They needed to pay attention today. The HOR had to have a very good understanding and assurances to give them the motivation and drive to pass the budget with a massive deficit, if they did so. We're going to find out. Was or is there a massive deficit? Is there a fix for it? Was the fix conveyed yesterday into today? Was there meetings yesterday? Were there people in those meetings that we don't know about? Was there behind closed doors, or was there outside of the parliament, outside the dome? Were things like that happening? I think there were. My best view is absolutely there was a motivation for them to do this today and yesterday, to work on this. And I believe it's a highly meaningful one. We will see, likely, and that will be confirmed. We'll see how that turns out. But I believe that that's where we're at, because there's no coincidences anymore. This is a big issue. These guys are really pushing hard, and I think they're doing a phenomenal job. You can't have a parliament that's been completely talking about a storm system coming in. Oh, the budget's going to be a storm. We're going to have this big deficit. And all of a sudden they go, ooh, 180, right? Or that was a full 360, but a 180. And they all of a sudden went, boom, they nailed it today. They got it done. And so what's in there? So what does it have to do? It's got to go to the Gazette again, if I'm not mistaken. It's got to go to the Gazette, and then it has to be taken care of, whether that's going to be on Wednesday, which is 48 hours, or is it going to be Saturday, or will it go all the way out till Rashid, the president, if he doesn't do it, it takes 15 days. So we're going to find that out. After approving the budget schedules, the presidency of the parliament announces the end of the legislative term, so they approved the budget. Done. We're out of here. See you later. Presidents of the House of Representatives announced the end of the legislative term, the third legislative year, and the fifth electoral cycle. And they, in my view, it says, it is noteworthy that the Parliament voted today on the budget schedules for 2024. So they did it. Great. We all, I think, probably know that by now, and are probably kind of excited about that. Since they had to have assurances, I think that's what they have to have. They probably had to have assurances by voting that they were not committing political suicide with the budget schedules. I mean, think about it for a minute. 64 trillion or more, and you're going to go home to your constituents and brag about, oh yeah, we put you kids in debt. Yeah, little Johnny, you and Mohammed are going to be in debt for the rest of your lives because we got 64 trillion or more in debt. Are you guys stoked about that? I don't think so. Basically, what I believe is that, they proceeded to announce the end of the full legislative term in the third year, right for what? For convenience, and well before 6/9/2024, recess was to begin. The recess was supposed to begin on the 9th, which is next Sunday. Fascinating time frame that they were supposed to do that, but they did everything early, and they did it today. So that's really fascinating, because what else is happening? There's some other political and or geopolitical things that are happening in the world. I'm not sure if it's geopolitical, but bear with me. The Saudis are not going to accept the US dollar, from what I'm hearing, and then what I've seen clips of, whether that's hardcore information, but they're not going to be using the dollar on the 9th for oil sales. And it's been pretty publicized, but again, I didn't get a hard document just yet, but I'll wait to see if that's true. And if it is, it's fascinating, because why would they make a move like that at this juncture in time? It's something to think about. Okay. And it was also, interestingly enough, it was actually the same time that they were supposed to go on recess, but they went on recess early. So again, it makes you think, like, well, what happened? Why is it that they did that? I mean, no one's going to be jumping over, hoops and hurdles or anything at 1310. But if Iraq's going to be strong, and they're going to be a dominant force in the world, and they're part of OPEC, and they're going to be valuing their assets, what's the sense of using the dollar? I'm not so sure. Going to have to think about it. We're going to have to watch and see how it turns out. But the truth is, I think it's pretty powerful that at this stage of the game, they came to that, they agreed with al-Sudani. They agreed with probably al-Alaq. They had to have had communication on how they're going to fund the budget, and then increase the budget, and with what and why. And that is the big issue. How do you go and say you're at 1310 and you're going to go and increase the budget by an extra 2 trillion dinar when it's already at 210? It doesn't make any sense, you guys. They have to have had some circumstances that created the environment that allowed those people to go home to their constituents early and with pride. That's my view. Anyway, so Prime Minister blesses the approval of the 2024 budget schedules. So, okay, so if you're going to have 210 trillion dinar and you're going to get a blessing from al-Sudani because you're completely in debt? Okay. I don't think so. So anyway, but the Prime Minister blesses the approval of 2024 budget schedules. It says today, Monday, the approval of the 2024 budget schedules. Al-Sudani says in a statement, with greater appreciation and pride, we congratulate the responsible step of the esteemed House of Representatives represented in approving the 2024 budget schedules related to the Law 13 of 2023, the Law of the Federal General Budget of the Republic of Iraq for the years Finance 23, 24, and 25. That's the tripartite budget. It says what was previously approved in the Council of Ministers represented the budget schedules A, B, C, D, E, and F. So they have specific ones. They have specific schedules they dealt with. He says he's reaffirming continuing to implement the government program, which is his program, right? Which received the vote of the House of Representatives in support of the political forces. So everybody's been on his board. Everybody's been on his side. He's got approval. He called on the House of Representatives and the provincial councils to strengthen the government's work by following up on the legislative and oversight efforts. So oversight means something that you have to follow up on. It's not, we're going to get to this, but it's something that's already been done. Now we have to keep an eye on it, which our governmental institutions view with all sincerity. So they're serious about it. It's great. And he goes on in his prayer, he says, we ask the Almighty God for success and guidance in attaining his pleasure. Glory be to him and achieving the satisfaction of our honorable people. So he's after his people. He's praying for his people, which is it's really quite nice, especially today, because I think he's worked really hard, and I think he's somewhat humbled, and he's going to take care of those citizens. If you think about it for a minute, there's some other snippets I have in this piece at this stage, but look, there's a powerful affirmation that Sudani is pleased with the outcome today by the Parliament. I think he really is pleased about that. His government plan has been on fire for over a year and a half. Al-Sudani has been in office for a very short period of time, but the progress that he's made has been fascinating. He's delivered to his people. He's told them he's going to do things. He's got some things left undone. He does, but he delivered to his people, and they knew he would, and they're probably in an expectation that he'll keep doing it. They've been rallying behind him for quite some time now. And I think it's going to get better and better after overall going forward. Exciting times for Iraq is from the looks of the what we've seen so far. I think it's big. He told the people the dinar is stronger than the dollar recently and more than once. So he's told them the dinar is stronger than the dollar. So keep in mind, there was 197 companies, banks, etc., that are no longer were able to sell the dollar, buy and sell today. No, I take that back. It was published today. It happened on May 30th. So that was Thursday. Last banking day of their month. Fascinating, and that's a fact. Basically, all the things that he's been doing has been key indicators of the central bank, along with the central bank having ceased these companies from entering the foreign currency buying and selling window. There was about 197 companies that were kicked to the curb. That's how I would put it. I would say that the parallel market got hit hard on the chin. I think the parallel market just got smacked. Think about it. They were buying dollars and would be holding them large prior to 5/30/2024. The CBI shut the window Thursday last week, the last day of prior to the end of the month. So if you think about it, these guys were buying, like, the cash sales, and some of the sales increased to like 75 million, 80 million. Think about that for a minute. If you had 80 million US dollars in a bank account and you could have had that worth in dinar, and they changed the value of the currency, and you're holding dollars, ouch. It's like amazing. So it sounds like they caught these guys, they shut them down, 197 companies and or banks, and they were warned. They publicly stated they were going to shut the currency auction down in 2024. They didn't say what day. There has been some indicators that people felt that it would happen in June, and I don't doubt it, but specifically by today's information, it probably confirms those folks that probably got it right. Okay, I think there's more to the story that's going to unfold. Look, this next Sunday, like I talked to you about already, is that the Saudi Arabia is to cease selling oil in the US dollar. That's a big deal, you guys. It's a really big deal. I think tides are turning. I think Petra was probably smiling when I say that. There's no buying dollars in Iraq for many, and no selling oil in dollars for many more, in a sense. No buying dollars from the auctions in Iraq, no selling oil in dollars in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, Iraq are pretty big trading partners. Iraq's value of their currency may very well reflect, like al-Sudani has said to his people, hold your dinar because it's stronger than the dollar. Those are in Patreon at patreon.com/MMIncrew, and you can do your little search like I've taught you guys to be able to do, and you'll find things like that. And you're going to go, wow, it's true. Ceasing the dollar in the parallel market has had to be a well orchestrated event. They've been working on this. It's unfolding before our eyes, and they've had painful consequences for those that are holding dollars, in my opinion. Anybody holding dollars in Iraq could have been buying dinar, and they chose not to do that. They chose to do it nefariously outside the compliance of the UST and or Iraq's compliance international standards. And so al-Sudani and al-Alaq warned them the dollar auction would cease effectively as we know it this year. Both counts will be shown to be true. So let's see if both counts are true. They cease the dollar auctions, and they show that their currency is stronger than the dollar. So look, here's a snippet. The Central Bank of Iraq decided to stop entering the foreign currency buying and selling window from entering foreign currency buying and selling window from entering the foreign currency buying and selling window. And when was that? The next snippet is, please accordingly appreciation, Central Bank, Rashid gives the address, da-da-da-da-da. They talk about what I just said, that snippet. And what do? They give the date of, it's in blue, 5/30/2024. So they had already had this in plan. And so those guys that got caught holding dollars has got to be like, oh no. And so then you say, well then why do these guys in Parliament all of a sudden jump on board quickly? And they may have known about that before today. It's a little bit deep, you guys, but there's reasons for lots of different things, and they got what they wanted because they shut that down, and all of a sudden they got what they wanted with the vote. The Sudanese financial advisor reveals the date of the government's implementation of the budget schedules. Financial advisor to Prime Minister Mohammed Saleh reveals the date for the government's implementation for the 2024 budget schedules were approved of the House of Representatives today on Monday. Bingo, they're just reiterating it. Based on the effective constitutional path in issuing legislation, the start of the official implementation of the federal general budget schedules must be accompanied by its approval by the House of Representatives based on the provisions of Article 77, second of the Federal General Budget Law number 13. Basically, he goes on, the President of the Republic, then it will be published in the official Gazette so that the legal procedures can complete all their prescribed paths. So I already mentioned that. There's going to be probably a meeting on, well, which is normal behavior, on Wednesday, and then on Saturday, etc. And or if they subsequently, those dates fit for the budget in the Gazette to be legal and in law, or it gets out 15 days from today to a specific date, and that 15th day, without signing of the president, it automatically becomes law. So that's just how that works, in my understanding. So anyway, after the, it will be published in the Gazette so that the legal procedures can complete their procedures paths. He says after the implementation of application phase begins immediately, unless there are instructions for implementing the federal general budget schedules for the 2024, which may be issued by joint instructions between the Ministries of Finance and Planning. So they have a little qualification. It could even be, it may be different. Not at the end of the 15 days, just that it may be quicker. All right. Despite this important aspect remains, the budget tables for 2024 are approved by the legislative authority and are accepted by legislators in the House of Representatives. And then the financial table for the year 2024 is issued and approved under any form of legislation in force, whether issued by a new law or a legislative decision. So anyway, the next print in the Gazette is going to be on this couple days, or on next Saturday, and therefore subsequently they go on Wednesday and Saturday, to the best of my understanding. So I don't know about you guys, but I think what they did at these meetings were phenomenal. They really were. So the Finance Committee, after voting on the budget table, so after they did it, the financial abundance they're talking about. So how do you have a deficit and then you have abundance? I'm like, huh? Okay, so Financial Committee, after voting on the budget tables, there is financial abundance for the governance and the ministries. That's the article. It's in Patreon. Come on in and see it. It's actually in Discord too. You guys ought to come in and check that place out. It's been on fire lately. I mean that. It's pretty cool. Parliamentary Finance Committee confirmed today, Monday, that the voted on the 2024 budget schedules include financial abundance for the governance and ministries. I just love that. Financial abundance. That's great. While expressing its hope for increased support for the private sector, well, the private sector, that's what they need. They need the budget to help them get to where they're going. That's the whole idea for the tripartite budget. Okay, so private sector enter into investment projects and not limit their implementation to the government. Investment projects, that's what we're waiting for. I mean, we're going to go from a rent economy, from an oil economy, into an investment economy. So there's financial abundance for the government, governance, and large allocations to the General Secretariat of the Council of Ministers and ministries such as construction, housing, electricity, planning, and other important ministries. So that right there, that whole sentence right there, think about how much construction costs, housing, electricity, planning, and all the other important ministries. What? Where are you going to get the money for that? But you have an abundance. Okay. The report on the budget schedule for the 2024 prepared by the Finance Committee was signed, and included a general description of the budget and what is related to the development process and the reality of achieving sustainable development, main focus of who? IMF, World Bank, Central Bank, etc., as well as what is related to the focus on creating strategic projects for the ministries. We hope that there will be support for the private sector to advance the reality of the investment projects. Its burden does not remain on the government alone. It needs everybody's help. Okay, it's great they voted on the schedule tonight. I believe that. It's great. They amended the schedule for the FGBL 2024 and its annexes. The interesting part is that they have an abundance. There's no mention of a deficit. I don't know, you guys. I think I like it. I hope you guys do too. So please enjoy your weekend and your week coming, your weekend coming, because I think between now and the end of the week will be a a learning experience. Is there more to come? Could there be more from Al-Alaq tomorrow? Could there be more from Al-Sudani tomorrow? Could there be more each and every day as we go forward? I would not be surprised. So enjoy. Thank you guys for being with me tonight. Hit that like button if you'd like my content, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys on the next round. Have a great night. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you like this content. Subscribe to the channel or join us at the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community for even more exclusive content. You can also donate to this channel by hitting the links in the banner to help keep this page up and running. Your generous support is greatly appreciated, as always. Much, much appreciated. Thank you so much and have a great day.